Bob McClure wanted to start a good independent Baptist church in his home. They started, and then several locations after that before we got to the East North Street location. And that's when my wife and I joined Morningside, was in 1981 at the East North Street.
It just was busting at the seams every Sunday. People would stand outside and listen over speakers and sit in the grass out front.
The building was small, the choir loft was small.
Being very small there, but had some wonderful fellowships between the grass and the parking lot, and tables set up, and just a good sense of fellowship.
There was an excitement, there was an outreach going on, there had a bus outreach, and so we knew that this was a good church for my wife to get involved in the music, but also that we could be involved in outreach, and that's why we joined Morningside.
The church was growing.
Something had to be done, and it was at that time they purchased the property here on Pelham.
We first started with our chapel building.
That was an interesting build. Snowed a lot that year. We shoveled out a lot of snow out from underneath the roof.
Ron Countryman was a real leader for bringing that project together. We couldn't have done it without him, that I see.
It finally happened, and the first Sunday, the choir was overflowing. There weren't enough seats to seat everybody.
We became crowded in the chapel and had to rotate in and out of the gymnasium watching over a television.
And they started talking in the early 90s about a new auditorium.
And on one occasion, we had the perimeter of the building staked off.
They had us go into the parking lot and form an outline or a perimeter of where our new building would sit.
And it was sobering to see the people standing out around the perimeter of this roped off area of where the proposed new structure was going to be.
The beginning of phase 3 challenged us with the thought of have to doing away with some green area that we had, but needed parking for it, so the softball field that we had to be removed.
1999, we were able to get into what we call the new building. It's almost 20 years old now, but we still call it the new building. But along with the building projects came a debt load, and it was a heavy debt load.
So our total debt at the end of 2000 was a little under 4.7 million, and that put our payments up to $39,000 a month.
The attendance and growth did not match the size of the building that we had.
Couldn't even pay the monthly mortgage out of our general giving. We had to have additional building fund giving to take care of the mortgage monthly. We couldn't take on new missionaries out of our own church to pay them. We could encourage them to go, but couldn't pay them money monthly.
We also had a pastoral transition where times were difficult as a church body.
In the spring of '04, our church found itself without a senior pastor.
And the church, I was concerned, was headed toward literally closing their doors.
And the deacons came and asked me if I'd be the interim pastor that summer. After a month or so of being the interim pastor, they came and said, would you consider becoming our pastor?
So under the direction of Pastor Miller, we really had to kind of tighten our belts and heal as a church family and go through some difficult years.
There seemed to be God's goodness in the midst of this transition, and people were enjoying the services, responding to the Lord. We started adding people. We even added new ministries in the years to come. The Chinese ministry, the Arabic ministry, the Spanish ministry began to grow, and we were taking on new missionaries with Open Door Baptist Missions. In fact, through a period of 10 years, it doubled in numbers that we were supporting.
April 2014, Pastor Miller came to me as chairman of the deacons and wanted to let me know he would like for us to start the process of looking for a new senior pastor. He gave us an opportunity to be able to look without the pressure of having someone there. We still had a shepherd, we still had someone preaching on a regular basis, and we started the process that lasted until Pastor Crockett came in July of 2015.
When I came in 2015, we were in a position as a church where we were on the verge of paying off our debt. And as the Lord has allowed us to grow as a church with new members and grow financially, we've been able to not only finish 2 major wings, the South Wing, the East Wing, but pay off the debt early by the Lord's grace. And that put us in a position this spring to purchase 3 new properties, significantly expand the size of our campus. But as we grow and as the Lord blesses and prospers our ministry, we want to continue to be a church on mission, train and send more missionaries. And as we seek to be on mission here in our own neighborhood, in our own community on the east side of Greenville on Pelham Road, we want to reach out and be on mission as a church.